Hello, it is the end of January 2021 and all the snow has gone. We've had snow nearly for a month lying on the ground, and the surprise is that sweet peas have survived. I expect we'll get more snow before the end of this winter, but as you can see, not a lot has changed. There are some signs of a new year beginning, little buds on the currant bushes, all the little green perennial plants that have survived being covered in a blanket of snow. New trees that we put in, you can see one there and down there, they seem to be fine. But I'm walking you up to my hut to show you how I started all of this. And it all started with a plan. A plan of the garden as it was a couple of years ago. I'd left it for a year, really not doing anything, but cutting pathways through the grass. And then I made this detailed plan, measuring distances, putting on the canopy sizes, drawing on what I thought was going to be my writing hut space there. And most of the plants were down the side here, most of the big trees. It only goes to the bottle wall here, but that was the main planting area. So after that, it was time to think what I would like, and the plan grew bigger. As you can see, I'll come down in so you can see it a little bit better. So the circles represent the full-grown canopy size of plants, and there are lots of different ideas on here. There was an idea for a bamboo spiral. The hut's now where it is in its special place. I even had a sweet chestnut there, which actually is not at all practical. And I have a greenhouse there, which of course I haven't. I've got a polytunnel up there. But the fact that the trees are not particularly in the places that I planned, that's not a problem. The main thing about doing these plans is to get to know your land, to get to know where the shadows are, where the light is, to feel where the wind comes through and where's protected, to really understand what you have already growing in the garden. And then, of course, there was the need to write lists. This is one of the notebooks. I do have several. This was the first one. So I did lists of edible plants we have, edible plants I would like, and the same for inedible. And when I say plants, this was really just the trees and the shrubs. There are several more lists that have come, just information on looking after currant bushes and the black currants and jostaberries. And then I have lists for when I went shopping, and these I needed them in English and in French if I could find them, and in Latin, because sometimes the French translations weren't quite right. A little bit more complicated when you're not in your native country, but there's always a way around it. And books. I bought books. I bought this one, A Cottage and 3 Acres, about this incredible woman, Colette O'Neill, who has made an absolute paradise in Ireland. I bought this one, Garden of Equal Delights by Anna Kelsey. Now this is more of a philosophy. It's absolutely beautiful to read. It's very much about your mindset and how to leave things alone and to watch and observe. And then there's this very big heavy book, which I've only bought recently. It's by Martin Crawford, and his garden in England is such an inspiration. I'd love to visit it one day. There's some fantastic videos on YouTube. He's just so knowledgeable. It's well worth getting at least one of his books. I do have another one of his, which is the perennial plants as well. I also have Hidden Histories of Herbs. This is a beautiful book as well, with lovely illustrations, lots of information, all about herbs. Very, very useful. And this one, The Garden Jungle by Dave Golson. If you have Audible, it's well worth getting the Audible version as well. He narrates it so beautifully. He's got a wonderful sense of humour. It can be depressing in places, but he does leave each chapter on a high note. And it's about gardening to save the planet, to garden with a view to the impact that you're making on the world. So that's just a little insight, a different video today of my forest garden, and I'll leave you with the apple tree, and I'll see you next month.